The most fond memory I have of my childhood is generally just spending time with my grandmother, but specifically having her teach me how to cook. She would make these delicious meals, and she would never tell me exactly what was going into it, so it'd be a pinch of salt, a handful of cheese, things like that. She was just a warm woman who I loved. Or when my mom would forget to pick me up from school, my grandmother would be there. When I needed somewhere to live because my mom was in an abusive relationship, my grandmother was the one I reached out to, and I lived with her. I was my mom's world, but I'm not sure she ever liked me. My goal when I first decided that I needed to find myself and get out from under my mom's reign was that I would go to school in Boston. I went to the Simmons campus and I just felt like I was at home. I went to an LGBTQ training and I realized that my feelings were the ones being talked about. I thought everybody wanted to kiss girls. And I did not realize until that summer that not everybody does want to kiss girls. And I was just accepted. Nobody blinked an eye. And it was just such a fun, good time in my life. And then the fall of 2016, as a political science major, I was taking a course on the presidency at the time. I happened to be in class with this really cute butch lesbian, and then we became friends. We were talking. She had just been through a terrible breakup. So I was trying to navigate my relationship with her, and then I was still closeted to my own family, and the holidays felt like they were approaching like a train down a track, and finally everything came to a head. I ended up telling my family member hosting Thanksgiving, "Hi, I'm Maggie and I'm gay," was basically how it started. And she just was like, "Well, I'm not going to tell anyone. You have to tell everyone else yourself." And I had to tell my mom that I was gay. First of all, she was mad she wasn't the first person to be told, which tough cookies, right? You tell everyone things at your own pace and how you're comfortable. And also, if you're going to be worried about someone's reaction, of course you're not going to tell them first. St. Patrick's Day of that year, I had been texting Caitlin some private messages about my emotions. My mom showed up. We had a shared iCloud, and my messages started going on to her phone. My mom lost it. She went crazy, and all these feelings she had about me being gay came up. But really the bigger issue was that she could no longer control my relationship with other people. And there were threats involved against Caitlin, and she was never going to follow up with them, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I got my student affairs office involved, and they got the campus police involved. I got a no contact order. And that was probably the first time that I could breathe ever in my life. I'm sure I could have done it differently, but it was hard because I would call my grandparents and my mom would steal my phone number from the caller ID. I don't think a lot of people in my family know this, but my grandmother at one point asked me to stop contacting her because every time it just caused so much stress on the family. And then as my grandmother got sicker, I think she was struggling to remember that, and I effectively did not have a relationship with her anymore. Effectively, when I say my grandmother, I really mean that she was my mom, and my mom died a year ago. imagine being 25 and loving your parent but not being allowed to talk to them, and then they die. Like, it's just not easy.